All right, team, let's go ahead. Let's get back to the live trading action. There's a lot of movement going on, a lot that we need to talk about. Economic data changing everything up today. Let's get into the action and see what the boys think.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right, let's bring on the boys. We got Ryan, Zunaid in the house. What's going on, team? How we
Good
doing?
morning.
The hoodies are back. The hoodies are back.
Laundry is done. Good morning to you. Oh, you got one? Oh, Ryan, I thought you were about to reach out for a hoodie, buddy.
I have a what they call a hoodless hoodie, right? It's the
Hoodless
pullover. The
Got it.
He's more of the high collar type.
Make
of
sure
guy,
you make sure you grab some swag for you from the closet somewhere in there. You know.
Some swag, grab the swag. Grab all
yeah.
the swag.
Look, guys. I mean, this is not my first day. This is not my first day. Every time I come to the office, I leave with new shit. Like, let's face it. Like, this is how it goes. I'm trained.
He knows what he's doing, man.
You can't say this isn't your first day and then say I'm well trained.
What do you mean? They mean the same thing.
Because it's okay.
Never mind. We'll
give you guys some treats.
Let me go ahead and start sharing my.
Is this market a treat though? Are we getting a treat today?
Well, so Mitch, we were just kind of talking about it before you went on. Here's what I'll say. The number for me that was important today is the unemployment rate, because that's what Powell talks about, right? And so we had a number that's actually under the 3.7 estimate. So you would think that would be bad, right? You'd want the unemployment rate to be higher because that's what Powell has said, and that's not what we're getting. And so here's the only type of sense that I can try to make of this. Been saying for a number of weeks, the sentiment out there is so unbelievably poor. Everyone is bearish. I'm a bull and I am bearish right now. Everyone is bearish. The sentiment is horrible. And when everyone is on the same side of the market, what does the market do? The opposite.
Go the other way.
It inflicts as much pain as possible, and it humbles as many people as possible. And I think you might be getting some of that here today, Mitch. And one of the other things that we might see is, sure, we might see a pop here, but let's see what happens. Let's see if we give any of this back. Let's see if we retrace this move or what happens throughout the regular session. That would be what I would offer you at the start here, Mitch.
Yeah, like I said on pre-market prep, what this does to me is that whenever I see an illogical move from the market, I don't trade it. I don't try to go against it and revenge it, because that doesn't make sense either. That would mean me jumping in short right now, right? Just jumping in short off of this, right? I could do it, but then that would be me kind of revenge trading. That's definitely not what's going to happen here. But what I will do is just put money on the sideline. I won't even probably be trading the open today, because there's no point in me trading the open if I don't agree with what's going on in the price action. Like, if this is not what's happening, or the catalyst says completely the opposite, well, I'm just going to let it go. And that's what I think I will be doing today towards the open. So don't expect too much trading on my side. So I won't take too much of you guys' time. I'm going to be more long, just waiting for things to come back in line.
So let me just kind of add on to that, because on Friday, I actually often don't do much trading on Friday. Just part of my trading plan. And again, some of this is just because I've been slapped around on Fridays more so. So I would say that my trading is going to be light, if any at all, but we're still going to watch the scanner. There are multiple setups here this morning. We're going to watch them. We're going to call them. We're going to go through them. But I just wanted to let that be known. We're not normally on Friday, and here we are on Friday. Is this going to be a thing going forward, Mitch?
Yes, we will be on every single day. You guys don't have to miss us. You guys know it. We'll be right here, like always, trying to give you guys the party. That's what it's all about. It's a party, it's a party, it's a party. Don't miss us, team. Hit that subscribe. If you hit the bell, you get notified the moment we go live. So as you guys can see, I'm going to be a little bit on the sidelines. So I'll let you guys take control a little bit more. If you guys got some micro catalysts or some stocks that you guys are looking at to trade, I'll let, who wants to take lead now? Who
Ryan, you want to finish us off?
Yeah, I can. I'm ready to go here. So we talked a little bit about the broader market, and we talked about of the SPY and some of the numbers. And we're going to be watching a lot of those plays here. But let's set up with what's on the movers tool here. The thing that's really been kind of working recently or giving us opportunities have been select biotech names. The story is exactly the same today. So a couple here that we're going to run through real quick, and then I'm going to turn it over to the Z-Man. First one here is going to be SPRB. This is Spruce Biosciences. They have a catalyst here. Shares are trading higher if the company and Kraken Pharmaceuticals announced a strategic partnership and an executive licensing agreement to develop one of the drugs in Japan. Now, the interesting thing here is actually we're getting a really nice pattern here in the pre-market, and we're getting some of this expanding volume. So if we see more expanding volume here at the open, this should be tradable. Right now, it looks like that 320 area is stopping this from going higher. We'll see if we can end up breaking out of there. We've already back tested the 280 mark, which was prior resistance multiple times on this next leg up. So we want to see if that type of move is actually going to happen again. Are we going to come back in and find some support and then move higher? Next one here is going to be CTMX. This is Cytum Therapeutics. This is something that we've had on our scanner before. In fact, you can see some of the blue lines that we had when this was in a $1.60 handle. We actually have a catalyst here. The company and Moderna announced a strategic research collaboration for mRNA-based conditionally activated therapeutics. So obviously the Moderna name drop is causing this to take the next leg up. We've broken above the 277. We've actually broken above 3, and that seems to be the resistance area currently. So we'll see if we can get a move and a build above 3. Again, we're going to need to see the volume hold up here for this to be in play. So CTMX. Now, next here, we're going to have MGAM. We've traded this one here before too. This is an esports name. This is right up Zunaid's alley. I expect an in-depth analysis as soon as I turn it over to him, not to put him on the spot. But in any case, MGAM here trading up a little bit in the pre-market. When as high as 246, have retraced quite a bit of that move here. This is one that you definitely want this to settle as opposed to trying to take a stab at this right out of the open or something like that. It's great to see some increased volume here, but it did turn into sell volume pretty quickly. We want to see what happens when the market actually opens there. The other thing that's going on here is, let's talk about GERN, because this was actually on yesterday or the day before. They recently did an offering, and that really sunk the stock. Stock ran up like crazy. They did an offering. They sunk it. It looks like 275 is that spot that they're trying to break to the upside. So we'll see if that ends up materializing. Just remember the offering here was priced at 245. And then the other things that have really kind of been going crazy have been some of these China Halt Fest names. We've traded these before. I've talked a lot about them. First one here is going to be Megal. This has actually gone above 3. We're sitting back here about 255. We've seen this one make crazy, crazy moves. But the one I'm sure everyone is ready to talk about is going to be HKD. This thing had an absolute monster move. Yet again, this is one of those stocks that we've seen go up to 100. But the reason that I'm highlighting this is because look what it's done already here today. All right. So we're hugging right around 30 at the close yesterday, traded all the way up to almost $69 this morning in the pre-market. And now we've retraced all of that move and we're actually sub 30. So you can see we actually have some other lines from the last time that we've talked about this. This one is just, for me, this is a strictly no trade stock. This is the type of stock that I would end up really, really hurting myself on. I told you that the last time that this was around. I'm telling you that again. However, this seems to be where some of the juice is. So there you go. Zunaid, it is your turn.
All right. Appreciate you. Well, then let's go ahead and talk about HKD. For me, there we go. For me, it's this area here that you want to keep an eye. If you're looking to go long, would be this 26.29. You can see we bounced from there a couple of times yesterday. Now, how does it react to this one here today? Something else to keep in mind is how it kind of broke 50, retested 50. You know, we love our whole numbers here, and it could not get there, and it just kind of completely came to the downside. So keep an eye on 26.29, and then the next level for me personally after that would be the whole number of 20. Just looking at the price action here, you can see this is a 15-minute chart. You can see you had resistance here, and then it went ahead and broke out and then continued its way to the upside. So those are the two levels that I have if you are looking to play the bounce. on HKD. The question is going to be, am I going to look to play the bounce? Which we might, but we also got to talk about TSLA. The market is up. Tesla is not. You have Tesla that's about 277 away from $100. So that's definitely going to be something that I'm going to keep an eye on. That beautiful whole number of 100. I'm actually going to go ahead and have. Let's see if we can go ahead and buy 25 there. And then we'll go ahead and buy another 50 there.
So you're expecting then a bounce off that 100 handle?
That is correct. Yes. So, similar to how, I personally, if you're new to the show, I love my whole numbers. So your 50s, your 20s, your 10s, your 100s, your 500s, your 300s, similar to how Netflix went ahead and popped above 300, retested, and went to the upside. I would love to go ahead and see a test of 100 on Tesla and then possibly go ahead and get a bounce. I think if you go ahead and look at, if my memory serves me correct, of a ticker that I played, some of you may have heard it. It's called Apple. You had Apple that went ahead and bounced around $100 right here. So it kind of popped up. It had resistance, and then from $100 just continued going all the way over. I remember wanting to get back to 100 and playing this one, but unfortunately I could not. And you can see another whole number is 80 right there. Matter of fact, let's talk about whole numbers. Let's talk about Pfizer, because this one yesterday, right from $50, went ahead and rejected. So here's your $50. And there is your rejection on Pfizer. So that's why it's to me, I enjoy trading off of those whole numbers and, looking at those to play breakouts, rejections, and different things like that. So, which is why I like my 20 on HKD, on Tesla. It's going to be our $100 area. Let's see if it gives us that opportunity. If it doesn't, so be it. It is what it is. But we're going to move on to, let's see if NVIDIA, again, speaking of whole numbers, you had a rejection of, you didn't guess it, but here it is, 150. And we'll see how it wants to behave from there. On NVIDIA itself, though, I don't really have a good read. If it wants to pop up above 148, perhaps we can knock on the door of 150 and see how it wants to react from there. But for now, I'm going to leave it alone. Microsoft, this one, we got a chance to trade it because looking left, you saw, hey, support, crack, became resistance, and then to the downside we bled. And now the question is going to be, where do we go from here on Microsoft? You can say that breaking the level of 221.67 is going to be key to visit 220, but look at this, just in pre-market you have Microsoft that went ahead and touched that previous level, and now to the downside we go on Microsoft. Let's take a look at Google here. On Google, nothing necessarily that I like besides the 86, but that level is not necessarily clean enough for me, so I am not going to touch that. Coming back to Apple, though, the crack of this one here, let's go ahead and do this. Let's erase our drawings. Let's go right here. So the crack of 124 to me would be key for us to go ahead and see possibly 122s and then maybe even lower depending on how this market wants to behave. If you're a little bit looking to go to the upside on Apple, to me, the level has got to be 128. Which you can see we've been kind of consolidating between these. Yes, we broke out, but then we got smacked right back down on the 128. So long Apple, break of 128. Short Apple, break of 124. Set an alert there. Set an alert here as well. Taking a look at Netflix here, we spoke about whole numbers, so I'm going to go ahead and revisit this conversation on Netflix. As you can see, kind of broke, wasn't as clean, went ahead, and as soon as it broke 300, buyer stepped in, and to the upside we went. And talking about support being consistently held on Netflix is this area here of about 304.39. 1, 2, 3 times it's gone ahead and held support, and now you've got a breakout above 313s. And so this is a beautiful trade if you took it on the break of 300. On Rivian, 17 was our magic number, and that's exactly why we shorted this one yesterday. You saw it kind of break yesterday, gave us money, but we didn't quite get gains, so we lost 2 days ago, but we made money on Rivian yesterday. You can see a beautiful $17 test, rejection, and which way do we go now? To me, it's simple. The 1650 has now got to go ahead and hold as resistance because it held as support, it held as support, it held as support, it held as support, and now it's cracked, and now it's got to hold on as resistance. If it's going to or not, I don't know. I'm not going to necessarily play it. I love the 17 a lot more than I love the 1650. So we'll see which way the cookie crumbles on that one right there. Let's go and take a look at NEO. Popped above 10, went to the upside. Don't really like anything on this one. You do have that beautiful $10 bounce in the pre-market. Today's session is brought to you by whole numbers that we're currently seeing. Taking a look at the E-mini futures, we talked about it having a nice little move to the upside. If you're trading futures, if this one goes ahead and cracks the 3850s, you can possibly look to go short, because if you go ahead and look left, you once again have right over here, you had resistance, 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 and then boom, we go ahead and pop to the upside. So if you're looking for support, somewhere around 3850s on the S&P E-mini futures could be great. If you're looking to go short, wait for the break of it, have it the retest, and then you can go ahead and come on back down. And of course, clearly you've got another support area here at the 3820s. So that's kind of the range if you go ahead and break 3850s, where you may want to look to take your profits every 10 points or so till you get to 3820. We've got about 7 minutes left. I can continue taking a look at if there's any other stocks that folks want to see.
Just one sec here, Zunaid. I just want to answer someone from the chat.
Go ahead.
So Manny's asking about EWW. Manny, you're saying thoughts on shorting EWW as conflict in Mexico is heating up. What I would say is provide some more details on the conflict heating up for our viewers here. However, let's take a look at the chart and figure out where we're at. One of the things about the Mexican emerging ETFs here is that charts actually look pretty good. This chart looking pretty good, right? Definitely found some support at the 200-day. That's this deep blue line. We actually bounced off of that or near that twice since the middle of December 16th. We actually had a golden cross in here at the end of November. That's generally pretty bullish. And all these moving averages are kind of, starting to point up. We got the MACD histogram starting to move up. The lines are crossing here. So this actually looks bullish. Now, of course, all of that can be trumped by news or whatever's actually happening. The other thing to note here is that some of the other ETFs, emerging market ETFs for Mexico, look the same. Right? MEXX, FLMX, they both look very, very similar to this. So I'd like to hear a little bit more details from you on what the bear thesis is. Taking a look at the charts, these don't actually look bad. Potential swing long opportunities on all three of them.
All right. Give me 1 second here. What's up, Mitch? What you got for us?
Not much, but the reason why not much is that the market's going to drive everything, right? This open is going to it's going to call stocks. Like it almost doesn't even matter what kind of pattern you're looking at in the pre-market. If the market is going to go ahead and just determine where the stocks are going to go. So just be careful there. SPY still kind of just chopping around a little bit. If there's any stock definitely to watch, I would say it's Apple, the bogey there. What will happen to Apple? Will it get back through 129 or will we cut through these lows? If we cut through the lows, well, I'll know that the market's coming right back down. And if Apple can get back through 129, that's where the bulls can at least say, yeah, let's ride this wave up. That's when you can really start seeing Tesla back towards 110 and ripping. Right. Well, Tesla's down there towards 103. I know it washed out a lot of the people that were holding probably toward that 108 as being support. So a lot of people, as they get towards the open, they might want to get out as this pops. So just be careful. It could come right back down. But I do think that at least Tesla might go up there back towards that 108 today. And that's still ways from there, right? You got 5 points. I'm not going to be playing this one, but I'm just telling you guys what I'm seeing out there. You guys make your own investment decisions on these. I still got Duke, still slightly into the green. It is coming back a little bit. We'll see what happens with the market overall. If that comes back, that's the swing trade. And could be looking elsewhere to see if there's any other kind of trades that I want to kind of take. One that I'm starting to consider is that if like oil can start making its way back, XOM can make its way back towards, let's say, like 110, 111s right here. We're almost towards that 111 area. I might eventually take a short off of the kind of the 52-week high. Reason being is that I'm looking to see if oil is going to cut into the 60s. And if oil starts cutting into the 60s, I feel like that's when you're really going to start seeing oil get hit. But oil's ripping this morning. So just be careful, because I feel like this could get that little push today. It's not like I'm going to jump into this today. The idea here is to let it kind of top out and start showing the turnaround and then go hammering it versus on the strength push. Right now, WTI was getting a push there with the market. It went up there towards about 75. We need to look to see, does oil get into the 80s or the 60s? I think that's what's going to determine a lot of this trade on XLE. And I think a lot of traders are expecting XLE to continue higher this year. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there in energy. XLV is another area, of course, to keep on watch. If you like this, playing this doesn't look too bad either. It has kind of this bottoming action right underneath it towards 134 area. We'll see if some of these stocks start coming back. Big news could come out at any moment in Biogen, so keep your eyes on that. That could be a big rip on the day. Why? Because they're going to get the FDA news, right? And we don't know exactly when they're going to get this news. It can happen at any moment. So if you see for any reason Biogen just, boo, you know what happened there. FDA release, and they probably got approval of their, it's for Alzheimer's drug, right? And so watch out for that. FDA approval on that. We'll get that one moving fast. All right. We'll see what else is going on. To me, I'm not down. It's just more along it's a boring day. So to me, this gets a little bit more boring day because I'm not trying to put into action. I was expecting to see that SPY break down through the range. And if we were breaking through the range, I was going to start flushing on stocks. Apple was one that I was looking to short into. But with this, it turns things around. And with that being said, when I'm on the sideline, it gets a little boring, right? I think we're all here trying to do some trading. But I'm here for you guys. Whatever you guys want to take a look at today, call it out in the chat. I'm, of course, let Zunaid, Ryan focus on their stuff. I won't be trading too much out the gates here. So if you guys have tickers or anything that you guys see moving, throw it up there. I'll make sure to catch it.
I will say, Jay Rice here saying that the nat gas dip was bought. Absolutely right. We had a low print of 352. We don't have the nat gas futures chart here in Pro. Sorry about that. If you recall correctly, when we talked about this, I said that we'd probably be waiting until nat gas came into about 350. Well, we went down to 352. That dip got bought. That would have been your entry there on Boyle. Didn't play that one, but been watching nat gas pretty close here.
We will see what happens in the SPY. Do we just come right back down here? Breakout really is, there's 384, right, from the pre-market action. 385 is the real breakout to the upside. If you get above 385, I think you get that breakout. So I've been looking on both sides. I have scenarios for both sides. Above 385 is where I can be like, okay, well, I guess the wage news is what mattered the most, even over the Fed. But hey, like always, team, one of the things is there's always noise, right? There's a lot of noise right now in the macro environment. It's up to you to determine what you believe.
You've got HKD that went ahead and gave you about a point pop from the level that we had identified earlier.
Gotcha.
Thank you for that. Appreciate you, brother. You see, we talked about this level right here of support, which is why we drew our lines to the right. And what do you know? It goes ahead and tests that, holds a support, and to the upside we go. Now, to me, my Mr. Know-It-All, I'm going to see if we reject this $30. Why? Because it's a whole number. It's also the previous close. I'm going to expect a little bit of resistance from there and possibly a test or a breakout above it. But I don't expect to just fully go ahead and pop. If I'm wrong, please don't troll me on the internet. Nonetheless, though, the level worked out very well. I personally was being conservative, and I was waiting for the $20 level to go ahead and play my entry on this one to the long side. But that's quite all right. Main focus was going to be on Tesla, but that is nowhere near $100 as that's gone ahead and popped up. I'm waiting for the drop on SPY as well, or a breakout above the levels of 384, as you can see, it's a pre-market high, or above 386s. So similar to Mitch, I'm kind of in hold mode, except if I can go ahead and get a play on Pfizer, I'd be interested. I want to see how this 10-minute candle, or excuse me, a 15-minute candle closes. So Pfizer is where I'm locked in.
A couple of things here, potential long side trades for as far as smaller names. BVXV, we get any type of volume pop buy over 360 might send this here for definitely in play. And then the other thing, which is one of the ones we talked about, would be Tesla here. Seeing it on a different chart, Tesla sure looks like it wants higher. Would be interesting to see if it challenged a red-green move here. We were down pretty considerably, but it does look like it's trying to go. And just as I said that, it sells off a point. I think what we'd really need to do here is clear out this consolidation zone. That's between 105 and 103.50. So that $1.50 range, we clear that out here. I like Tesla for higher. That might be a good day trade with some contracts there. Looks like you got probably about a 6-point move in there if we're able to get some juice here in Tesla. Oh, Shelly, we know that you were going to troll Zunaid. We weren't even worried about that. We're going to wait for you to get the epic trolling going on there.
Right. I thought it's...
I mean, look at Zunaid. He's ready. He knows already.
I could have taken that so many different ways, but I decided not to. But yes.
That's a shame.
That's good. That's good that you decided not to. It's good, bro. It's good.
I've got 3 doors, if you know what I mean. But if you go ahead and take a look at Pfizer, we're still waiting for the entry. For me, I'm looking to buy some shares at 50.05. So 50.05 is where I'm looking to get my entry on Pfizer. Stop loss for me is going to be about 25 cents. So if it cracks 49.80s, I will be out. But no fill yet, sitting on the bid at 50.05 with 300 shares. HKD, would you look at that? Just a nice little pop. And hey, maybe Mr. Know-It-All should go ahead and do exactly what he says. We talked about this level of a support. We talked about the rejection from the previous close. You got that all the way down. And then here you go. Nice little pop to the upside. And then let that be another reason that you always want to look left and see where it's going on. And I mean, if it's kind of not moving, so I don't know if it's been halted or not. But it looks like you've got a nice little pop on HKD. So have fun trading this if you guys are. Hopefully the levels have helped, and hopefully understanding where we got the levels from is the most important part. And, well, there's Pfizer. Maybe it won't give me the 50.05 fill. Maybe it'll just continue marching to the upside. Tesla trying to see if it wants to break above the 105 level. For now, it looks like it's around 104.61 is the high. Yeah, that was halted. All right. And Pfizer now a quarter above. So that's a beautiful trade if you took the break or a retest of $50.
Foot Locker, Nike, good moves out the gates. If you guys want to take a look at those, I did mention in the chat there for ST also. That might help. Crocs, was looking into apparels there. Crocs.
Market trying to make a move towards the highs here on SPY.
Yeah, trying to get to the 384.
I'll be right back. I'll put your charts up, Mitch.
No stress. I'll let you guys see what I'm seeing. I'm looking at the SPY. We'll see if we top out here at 384. It's trying to get through that level. Let's take a look at the sectors and see what's moving here. Defensive's actually leading us today. That's interesting to see. Let's see what industry is leading there from the open. Discount stores getting a little lift. Of course, Costco got some good numbers out today. That's giving it a little lift. BJ is getting the push off of that. Ollie's also getting a little bit of a lift. Target being mentioned in the chat. I saw that. Good mention there. Chilled Monkey. And look at that. Walmart also getting a nice little push. So if you're looking into this area, it's not looking too bad right now. Food distribution, another area where you can look at Chef. There's USFD, SYY in that area. SYY looks like the stronger one. I actually like that chart starting to come back off of a kind of a bearish tape though. So just be careful on that. Overall, energy, we talked about that, could get a lift. It was already pushing the futures, at least in oil. And you can see XOM, nice little push out the gates there. If there's anything that I could have maybe looked for, it's because I expect the oil to come up today. Eventually seeing that it could top out. But Oxy getting a nice little push also on that. Chevron is another one you can look at. Halliburton, right? VLO was doing really well yesterday. Came back down, now continuing. Look at that. VLO, nice little big push in the last 2 days. This is one that I definitely put on your radar, team. Valero is actually pushing pretty strong. That one has ways to go to get to the top, so it could even make a move maybe to 135, 140s. It's at 130 right now.
So I have a potential idea here.
Selfie looking good.
You got I got a potential idea here for the group. Lululemon potential swing. Remember, I'm going to try to look for more swing trade options this year than day trading. We're still going to watch the pennies. We're still going to watch the day trading. We're going to try and find some more swings. I actually like Lulu here. The company's super strong. We're pretty much coming right off the 200-day. We're definitely in a recent uptrend where we're setting higher highs and higher lows. So looking pretty good here, and we're looking to curl. The way that I would actually play this is probably with options, and I would say my stop would be somewhere under the 200-day, on a close below the 200-day. What I'd be looking for here is a move towards 400. The only thing that's really got, I mean, obviously this is going to move along with the market. If the market really gets blasted, these stocks are going to come down. Factor that into your plan. The only other thing that's specific to Lulu is they had a whole bunch of inventory left over. And the thing is that I think we might get a hit on that in the next earnings print. But that next earnings print doesn't come until March, so there's still some time here for the swing trade to materialize. I'd like Lulu here, move through 360 towards 400. Would be what I would be looking for here.
Definitely,
I missed the cat, not going to lie. Shelly, don't worry. You are going to see the cat, and be there for the Tarkov stream on Saturday night. I'll make sure to get Buddy out for you.
There you go. There you go. Hendrix is around here somewhere. I can bring him if you want. We can always have a cat, right? We need one.
Yep, that's right.
Just Hendrix has been getting a little more friendly lately. I've been letting him do things that he's not usually allowed to do. You know, holiday time. He's getting on couches and stuff.
You had a bad experience with a tree one year, didn't you?
No, believe it or not, he's a really good tree keeper. A lot of cats are tree destroyers.
Yes, an ornament, those dangly ornaments. Oh, man.
Believe it or not, Hendrix actually treats it like it's like his home. He gets underneath it and he hangs out like
that's so
the
cute.
Whole time. Like he loves to like hide out underneath it and all of a sudden just pop out at you.
Sal, good question here. I would actually use options for this in order to define my risk ahead of the trade. You could use stock, but really that's going to be more of a personal question about your own risk profile. I feel like I can better define my risk with options for this potential swing trade. And like I said, I mean, the thing is that the market's been really choppy. And if we get bad news, even if it's not specific to apparel or Lulu itself, the stock's likely to come down. I almost feel like I'm able to more or better manage my risk using options, but that would be a personal question.
There's one that I'm trying to grab right now. I'm thinking about it here. X. Yeah, let's try to take a little trade. Why not? Let's see if I can get a fill here. Put it out right now. Just need to get a fill in X. Trying to get into X. No fill. Oh, now it gets the fill on the little pullback. All right, let's see. Can we take off through the 26? Cleveland Cliff, we talked about this on Stock Market Movers. That it's been strong the last couple of days, and I was wondering if it was going to get X moving. Maybe it was someone in the chat getting me going. Maybe it was myself just hearing it in the background, but who knows? Let's see. Got the 25.96 on that little pullback. Let's see if it breaks through the 26 here, gives us that next little step up here. Let's go to the hourly to look for the next range where we can get to 26.07. Let's look for that little spike towards 26.17. I'll take some out there. Next spot from there, 35s and 50s. Really, we want to see like Cleveland Cliff take off also. NUE is another one you can look at. Steel, right? You want to see the leaders take off that have been doing well. Relative strength, stay strong like Steel Dynamics. Let's see if those can take a nice little push. And X can give it to us and deliver. We'll see what happens.
That was a good drop. Really quickly, Shelly's saying some cats just want to watch the world burn. Excellent Dark Knight reference there. Just an excellent Dark Knight reference. I like to quote Alfred whenever possible as well. And, you know, cats are definitely not interested in things like money and fame. Some cats just want to watch the world burn. You're exactly right there. Great question here from Tom. Ryan, are you still looking at FDX to the downside at 180? So what I'm thinking here on FDX, let's play it out both ways, right? First of all, I do suspect the consumer to struggle more here more this year, more here, more this year. So as far as FDX here, what I would say is that I'd want to get a confirmation. It seems to me like this could go any way, or either way. Geez, I'm really struggling this morning. A break above maybe 184 here sends us into this gap, might even find some resistance there at like 197 if we're able to trade up to the 200-day. But look how many times we've been rejected at this level. And I think that if you break down here, I actually think 160s might be possible. So what I would do here, Tom, is if you're interested in this trade, I would set this up in a way where wherever you felt that this move gets confirmed. Again, looking at this here today, it really looks like we could go both ways, and I don't necessarily have a strong gut feeling either way. I guess it would be stronger to the downside because I do think the consumer is going to be hurting more this year. But I would actually want to wait for that to confirm. Maybe a close, maybe, that 180 level still looking pretty good. Maybe a close beneath 180 looking for a 160 move to the downside. Great question, though.
On Pfizer, I did go ahead and take an L. Let me go ahead and walk through that trade. There we go. Thank you.
That was
Appreciate
my fault.
you.
My fault.
Yep. It's all right. Hey, we're being a team. So on Pfizer, you saw the $50 crack. I went ahead and bought it at the retest around these levels right over here, actually. Never mind. On this one here at 937, bought it at 505. And then unfortunately, it just kind of came right down and then it took me out on my stop loss. So I did go ahead and take an L. And we've started the day down about $78. The theory did not work out. The next one that I'm keeping an eye on is going to be Microsoft. If it wants to go ahead and fill me at this level of, what is this, 05? Yeah, so 220.05. We'll see if it wants to fill us there. 100 shares, looking for a stop loss at 219.46. Just got filled there. Looking to take profits around 220.66.
Boom, boom. Explained the trade and took a trade.
Sure did, and now we've got this 28. You've got this 380 now being tested. So you want this to go ahead and hold, similar to how I did in pre-market, but you had resistance here on yesterday's trading session, right? You had kind of support, broke it, then resistance. It's just been crazy around this 380 level. Unfortunately, I'm not quite sure how confident I feel about this 380 holding. And sadly enough, I've got my Microsoft trade on. So hopefully I'm wrong. This 380 holds, and then we go ahead and get a pop on Microsoft. So just give me 66 cents. That's all I'm asking for.
Gurn right here, by the way. Gurn finding some resistance here at 268. Refresh seller here at 268. I think if this seller comes down, 270 going to be the next spot to challenge, and a pop through 270 probably takes us to 275. So as far as scalping here, maybe a move on this 268 break. They've been really chomping at this offer here. They keep refreshing it. So maybe if we can take this out, we go higher here. 268 looks to be the spot here on Gurn. Take that out higher, maybe 275. Maybe take 275 out, you could really go. 269 now, so it looks like 268 did fall. Nope. Okay, they refreshed it again. All right, so that battle seems to be going on. 267, 268 on Gurn.
Be careful. X tried to get through 26 there 1, 2, 3 times. I'm looking to see if we hold the 25.89 pullback, but if that breaks, I'm going to go ahead and get out of X.
Back to
SPY falling.
Yep. So this is what we talked about, right?
Wow.
We asked this question.
Excuse me a second.
Yep. Sorry. We talked about this, right? Does it give it back? Does the SPY give back the gains that we had from that pop? We look like we've retraced that entire move. There you go, Mitch. Great job. It looks like we've retraced that entire move. So let's wait for a setup here. This is one of the reasons why we kept saying, maybe take it a little slow out of the open here.
Yeah. What I would really be surprised is if it doesn't just go down through that 377 now. That would be the one that would be like, oh yeah, thank you, SPY. Oh, it is what it is. I wasn't sad to begin with, Shelly.
It's always nice when you come back to your screen and you see a dub. So, if I'm going to take an L on stream, I also want to go ahead and take a dub. So, Microsoft trade worked out quite well. We went ahead and took it at this 220 level. We went ahead and set our stop loss right below the 50-cent area, and thankfully it went ahead and came right back up. So we were down about 80 bucks. Now we're down about 20 bucks. And let's see if we can find another trade to take, which for me is going to be a 15-minute close below the 380 level. And no surprise, the previous close helping out the SPY here as well. Matter of fact, it's tricky because I want to go short the SPY, but it's like that 380 level just hasn't been consistent to break and stay, right? Like, look at this. This is 380 right over here. And this is what I was playing yesterday. I had just chop between these 2 points here. Then it finally went ahead and broke, held the support, moved to the upside. Then it broke down. It's just, I just don't know which way it's really going to go, whether it's to the upside or downside from that 380. So a little hesitant to short the SPY.
Yeah, I think you're going to have a lot of hesitant traders on both sides, right? Because you got that big up move, big down move. Yeah. Choppy chop.
Yeah.
Gurn here, still at that spot, coming off of it a little bit. Thing for Gurn here now, volume seems to be drying up. So really the tell here on Gurn is going to be if the volume can pick up and we can move through that key level, maybe we'll have a trade in our hands. But right now, looks like that's not materializing.
I want a gold star. What pattern? Which stock? Shelly, I want a gold star.
My guess would be just guess the cat pattern and you're probably going to win.
The cat pattern?
I mean, I don't know.
Cat pattern? What's the cat pattern? Is that like high wicks? Wicks are like whiskers?
It's the pattern that Shelly wins on.
She looks for big wicks.
That's what it is.
Whiskers.
So the pattern she's talking about is on the SPX.
SPX. I don't have SPX, but I'll try to do it. Tricks are for kids, man. Costco with the big push out the gates, man. That was a 10-point move out the gates there. 2.16% there for Costco on that just big candle that you guys see on the 5-minute. Not a bad one. Yeah, Shelly's feisty today, for sure. She was up early.
Let's see how Tesla wants to behave at this 105 level. Couldn't get over it in pre-market. Let's see if it can. I kind of want to take a shot at it, but like it's not the best setup. But like, all right, chat, we're gonna take a trade that's just because trade. All right.
The just because
trade. We're gonna go.
That
short.
Sounds like a boredom trading to me. Boredom trade to me.
No, you're not wrong, my friend. We're gonna go short. That's just why we're just gonna take just 25 shares. Just let me give it a fix. Let me get my fix in. We're gonna take 25 shares short on Tesla. We're gonna risk about 34 bucks, but we're gonna try to be a hero and see if we can get all the way down to about 100 bucks on this one. So let's see if we can get like a 3-to-1 trade on this one, if you will. Short Tesla at 104.67s. And so there, I want to justify it as to why I'm taking the trade. You've got this previous high in the pre-market that it cannot go over at the moment of 105s. So that's my reasoning that I'm going to tell myself this is a great, great, phenomenal, fantastic, best trade you're going to get. Trade of the year setup here on Tesla. And for the folks that can't tell, I'm being sarcastic. This is just a boredom trade.
Can't blame you. Well, actually, I can, but we won't go into that. MOS being called out in the chat. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It looks interesting to me also.
MOS, nice pop out of the gate here. Really kind of coming off a double here. Yeah, really kind of coming off a double bottom here. This 42 level looked to be some prior resistance that is now acting as some pretty good support. If we zoom out here, you can see that, yeah, this number has really been in play for a while. Let's take a look on a larger time frame and see what. Let's take a look at it on a weekly time frame and see what we have here at MOS. So again, this 42 level going all the way back to 1997, clearly a key level. I'll be honest, I don't mind this for a trade here to the upside. If it's unable to really break this support, which has been around for quite a long time, maybe we can take the next move up. Now you'll see that the last time that we did break this, like right in here, when we really broke down pretty quickly, and we stayed in this from what, 2015 to 2022. So stayed in this for quite a while. To me, this would be my line in the sand. Possible long above 40 really going to be your key level there on MOS.
You can look at other names also. CF, IPI are some names that trade similar with those. So IPI is trying to get through the 5-minute resistance right now. CF also trying to get through that right now. You can see there on the daily also bouncing. Of course, these are agricultural input plays. Check them out, team. Not a bad one. MOS for me is a nice monthly candle. Monthly chart looks clean there. See that monthly? That looks pretty.
Yeah, I didn't get to the monthly. I stopped at the weekly. Shame on me. It does look pretty. Yeah, that
200
does.
week.
Yeah,
200
month.
week
Yeah.
moving average at that's a 200 moving average. Actually, that's a monthly one.
Yeah,
43.65. Yeah, that one looks like it's held really well on this pullback before when we were down here. And the monthly looks sideways there, perfect to at least maybe come back to 54. Maybe you don't get up there all the way there, but we'll see. This one definitely has at least a level that I'd go off of. Maybe this 44, this high here, 44.06, 44 level as my support. I know that the 42 level is a little bit ways away from, where we are right now. So maybe 44, if you can get somewhere near there where you can risk off of that and it makes sense for you, I don't see it as a bad swing trade also for MOS. I might try to get it, but not going to get it at 46. I'd get it at 45.
I was going to say you want to wait for this to come in a little bit more.
X ruined me. It stopped me out on that pullback.
It gave it to you, all right.
And then it gave it to me. But if it was my profit target, remember I mentioned first 17s for the first type of profit. And then I went on the hourly and looked to the left. I saw this next resistance up there towards like 26.36, 26.40s. Somewhere in between there is probably going to be where I would take my profit into the run. You can also watch stocks to continue strength. NUE. I talked about those right when I bought it, right? That you would want to see NUE get a nice little move. Cleveland Cliff stay strong. Steel Dynamics is another one that you can be looking into. That's STLD. So these are steel plays that you guys can be playing.
So learn from me. Never trade because you're bored. Went ahead and gave up the money, Went ahead and gave up the money.
It happens.
Now, if you're looking to find another area of resistance on Tesla, to me, it's keep an eye on the 107.22s. If you're trying to play the long side, retest of 105 should give you a good entry with a stop loss above about $1 or so on ticker TSLA. Boy, Tesla just moving.
The volume. It's the volume that's really driving it. I think there was some traders that got caught out the open and they saw that first down move and they were probably still long, hoping that the 108s were holding. And they were like, crap, we got caught in Tesla. I need to get out. They got out. And then some people were buying up there. It looks to me like the amount of volume that's coming in right now might push it towards around the 108s. It might get right back towards that prior support on the daily chart. Then we'll look to see if it rejects there.
Well, for now, go ahead.
I was going to say, we talked about a potential long side trade here. We talked about how if it clears out this range that it was consolidating in at about 105, it can come back up to where it was at about 110. Just saying, we're about $1.60 into that move here. So this volume picks up. I think we close this gap today.
Now, the SPY chart. Now, let's see what happens here at VWAP. It's important to see what happens there, right? Because if we're going to really come back up and rip, and this was the wage number, and we're ripping back to the moon because of soft landing, and that's why we're ripping, well, it needs to get back up there, all the way back up there to 384 and higher, if that's really the truth in the news. But don't worry. You might see certain media be changing their titles by the end of the day.
Mitch, you did sound a little pissed off there. I'm not gonna lie. You did. It's like you're trying not to show it, but it's just. Oh, that's fun, Mitch. I miss my soundboard so bad right now. I'm dying. Mitch loves his sandstorm.
Oh, I used to love the sandstorm. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I bumped Darude tracks, man. I'm not. There was more than sandstorm too. There were a bunch of them that were really good.
It's the bear market rally. That's what it is. I love it, team. It's just fun, you know. Like one thing that when you deal with the stock market every day, there's always going to be days where you just got to be like, I just let like the talking media take over today. Even though I am part of the talking media, I'll let them take the lead because in my eyes, it was just weird to see that pop. And when you don't agree or just kind of disagree with moves, I don't agree with revenge trading. Some people would have probably said, well, you should just shorted that 384 up there. Well, I mean, I think that's a pure recipe for disaster. But like always, one of the things that I want to do now is just wait to see what happens. Let the price action really tell me by the end of the day what the news really gave us, really.
You've got HKD that's just continuing to move to the downside, now trading at 2230s. You got a beautiful bounce that you wanted, gave yourself about almost 9 points on HKD as it went ahead and held the 26.29 in the first at the open, and now it's to the downside. Keep an eye on 20. That's the next area where I can expect a little bit of bounce and support.
Megal chart looks very similar to HKD, by the way, Zunaid. I think HKD is breaking down a little bit more, but those charts look pretty similar here.
Apple looks juicy. Juicy.
OP asking, when is the Fed speaking today? So I went ahead and pulled up the economics calendar in Pro. Let this be your best friend for all you Pro users out there. I have Bostic speaking at 3:30 p.m. today, right here, this entry right here. So the big items that we got today, we actually already got this morning. They're up here. But yeah, it looks like Bostic at 3:30 here. So Tesla, that move higher, got to 107. It's come off its highs a little bit here, but really not breaking down. Actually giving you another possible entry at 105 on this gap fill up to 110. We'll see if that trade material. I would say if this breaks this 107 high, I think we're definitely going to 110. And I think that this gap's going to get filled here today. Jay, you thought there were 4 speakers today. Let me look into that. I'll go ahead and correct that if that's the case. Thank you for the assist there.
Looking for Apple to reject the 126.50 move here. If it rejects and comes back down, that's the 4th attempt to try to get back towards that 127. Just thinking about it in my rules, it seems juicy for me to get short there, but I don't want to be trying to do much revenge trading. I feel like even if I do this, it would still be type of revenge trade. So just staying on the sideline today. And sometimes that's best, team, because at the end of the day, when you have so many market opportunities and you're in the market every day, it doesn't necessarily mean you got to trade every day. You can just hang out sometimes and just learn. Maybe think the mentality, like this is where I would probably have gone short, right? Rejection of it, boom. I'd be knocking down Apple right now, right? My hypothetical outlook right now. And then so we'll see. And then one of the things that this does is that you can look for price confirmations by the end of the day, right? So for me, let's say the SPY closes above 384. Well, yeah, then I can start turning around and being flexible on the bullish outlook. But right now, I'm just going to stay in the camp.
I absolutely love our community here. I absolutely love our community. I was trying to answer a question. I did not read enough. I literally stopped reading when I got to the first entry. Jay, there are 3 speakers today. Alaska here has got them all. You were correct. looks like it's Governor Cook speaking at 11:15, Barkin speaking at 12:15, and then Bostic at 3:30. So these are the, this was all I could find. In fact, I'm actually on the federalreserve.gov website, and it only lists these as well.
All right, we're getting another important number to come in here, team. So just pay attention. It just hit. It's non-manufacturing PMI. So I'm going to try to pull this up here for us. Let me just pull it. There it is, 49.6 versus 55 estimate there. So underneath the estimate on the non-manufacturing PMI showing weakening of the economy. It looked like it got us a little bit of a pop there. That's why you guys are seeing that little bit of a pop. Yep. We'll see if we get through the 384 level. Like I mentioned earlier, that's the real level where you want to see it take out. But I'll give you guys this banner right now.
Mike, really appreciate this. Really appreciate this. Likes are a bit sad. Hit it. I would second what Mike is saying here. Hit that like. No, you're fine. You're fine. Hit that like. Help us stay on here. We just moved to 5 days. Help us keep those 5 days.
Right? Yeah. Some people, I don't know why they're so stingy with the like button. Like it, like it charges them some money or something. I don't know. It's just a button.
Yeah, I mean. So the pop here, like you were talking about, Mitch, I think that this shows that the economy really is slowing, don't you? I mean, that's really what's going on. And that's kind of what I was talking about with the consumer and watching FedEx. By the way, where is FedEx? Let me pop that up here. FedEx bouncing a little bit here. So holding that 181. So funny story about the like/follow button from Twitch. I had stepped away from the stream for a second. I think I went to go get a drink or go to the washroom. When I came back, I noticed that somebody had followed and said hello, and I wasn't there to greet them. So I was like, I sent them a whisper, and I was like, hey, sorry I missed you. Thanks for the follow. Hope to see you back. That person came back about 30 seconds later, unfollowed me, and then dipped. So people are definitely weird with the likes and follows. I don't know. It's just a button. It's free. Anything that you can to help us out is much appreciated.
Like I wish we got paid for the likes that we had, then it would be a little bit more. But that's not the way it works either, unfortunately. Checking out here Tesla and Apple to see what goes on with these. You can see Apple rejected that 127 again. We'll see if it starts on the takedown. And one of the things with Tesla that we got to keep in mind is that if it can't even get to the 108, will it just come right back down? I feel like it will. It needs to get through that 108.
Well, before it does that, so if we go ahead and take a look at Tesla here, the lines that we drew, and maybe if I wanted to waste money, I should have done it on the 107.22 in hindsight. So we kind of drew this level here after the 105 crack, right? And then you can see again, support turned into resistance right there. So gave you a nice little move, and then what do you know? It comes back to retest it. I mean, this is just a straight up beautiful textbook of support turning into resistance and resistance turning into support. So beautiful way to play Tesla. Unfortunately, I was too busy on HKD and different things like that. Speaking of which, I do have a trade set up to buy HKD at 2017. Stop loss is going to be about $1 below, profit $1 up. It's going to be a 1-to-1 trade. Let's see if I go ahead and lose money on this one. Am I going to get filled? Well, I'll let you guys know, obviously, if I get filled on that.
That's the AMTD or that's the HKD stock?
HKD, apologies. HK. Oh, it's the same. Ticker is HKD, which is AMTD digital.
Yeah, it's confusing. No worries.
You threw me off. I was like, shit, am I trading the wrong ticker?
It confused me too, bro. Like, I don't know. I didn't know how yours work.
If I'm gonna lose money, it's fine. But like, I want to lose it on the right
right ticker, right?
Right? You know what I mean? Like, damn.
Has anyone made that mistake? Has anyone ever made that mistake? Thought they were trading one stock and they were actually trading a completely different stock?
No,
I've fat fingered, if you will, the ticker,
I've fat fingered for sure.
But I've never actively been trading and then had the realization, I'm trading the wrong stock. Like that would be something else.
You never did the TLSA.
No.
Yes, I have. Yes, I've typed in TLSA
yeah.
and been like, what is going on? But the thing is that when you're talking about $100 stock versus 62-cent stock, I mean, that's
If you
so
don't catch
easy.
that one, I mean,
That's your own. That's on you if you don't catch that
Yeah.
one. That's on you. Come on, fam.
hey, it's how it goes sometimes, team. I'll tell you one thing. I've heard of some horror stories. I don't think it's happened to me. I mean, I've fat fingered, of course. I think everyone goes through that, especially if you're a hotkey type of trader. Which I should go back to doing a little hotkey entrance. I used to love it because you used to be like, just you'd hear it clack because my mechanical keyboard. You'd know I'm in, baby.
You had
Clack, clack, clack.
I don't know what's going on with HKD. For a minute, I was up, almost taking profits, and now I'm back to break even. So obviously, here's where we kind of got failed, and you can see it kind of went up, right? Went up a point, and then it got smacked straight down. So we'll see which way this ends up being, but we were so close to locking in gains at the 2144 level. Let's see if we can, or if it's just gonna get us out at 1890. TBD, chat.
Tesla making a move towards its highs again. I'm telling you, 110 on Tesla, folks.
Nike looks interesting on this pullback. If you like stocks that are strong and you're trying to stay with the stocks that are strong, Nike's been strong. It's trying to push back. It pulled back towards that 122. Trying to get back there through the kind of VWAP. See if it gets through that level. That's Nike right here. See if it gets back up there. And keeping an eye on that Tesla. Tesla now coming through that high. Apple trying to get through that 127. You can see I went just red there for a second. See if it gets through that 127 and actually holds. That's an important level there. Multiple times it's reversed right here. So we'll see what happens now. XLE, can you be more precise with resistance levels? Yeah, I can take a look at XLE. I'm not taking too many trades anyways. XLE is pushing right now, actually. Let's take a look. So first levels for me is just like kind of looking to the left, like where did I see support kind of hold? And if you wanted, you can try to clean it up with like a weekly. So like I'll try to clean it up a little bit here. So I'd pull it a little bit down to this support right here. Get around this 88.27 was an opening price. Now go back to the daily, see if it makes more sense. You can see how like it comes right into that price action and into multiple support levels over here. So that's going to be the first stop for me. I think this 88.20 is where we're going into right now. It's 88.28, and you can see we went right now towards 88.27. So maybe I'm like a penny off, right? So that's going to be, I think, the first resistance stop. From there, we got to look for the next kind of daily highs. I would look for us to get back. There's kind of a little bit of a good push here that it can go through now towards 91.18s. Around that level is where I would be looking for it to kind of slow down a little bit. But it's going to be all about oil prices too, because if oil prices can get back into the 80s, I feel that, yeah, we could keep running, right? So it's all a lot on that oil price, because if I think we get into the 60s, I think the opposite happens. You start to see the takedown in these energy names.
Couple of updates here on HKD. I'm not a god-awful trader after all. We went ahead and took profits on that one as it went ahead and wicked all the way to 22.50. So that's gains for us there. On NEO, the 950 went ahead and held and gave you a bounce. Not only that, the $10 rejected beautifully on the 1 minute here, 3 minutes into the open. So that's the update on NEO. What I'm kind of waiting for on Tesla is just to go ahead and see if we can crack this 105 to go short. If I want to go long, I'm waiting for a little bit of consolidation under 107s, then a crack above 107.22s, and I can take it long to reach. I believe Ryan said you're gunning for 110.
Okay. To me, it looks like it can close the gap there.
Yeah, so I would love to kind of have a little bit of basing here over 107.22, and then let's make that move to 110. Short side though, 105 crack to the downside.
X up there at 26.44 has got up to 26.47. So that one wasn't a bad one. I just didn't stay in between the volatility there. And probably deeper time frame would have just helped that, right? Like the 5 minute support there, you can see it right underneath there towards 25.80s. Kind of held that pullback on that last move where it dipped and then really took off. Not a bad move though if you were able to catch it there. X It gave it to somebody. It definitely gave it to me. Crocs. We talked about that. Maybe Crocs could get that lift. Nike was like kind of pushing earlier. Let's see if Nike can push now that you're seeing Crocs take that next step, right? And what were the other ones that we were looking at? We could look at like maybe like a Skechers. Ooh, that looks interesting. In footwear and accessories, is trying to get back up there. We'll see if it gets there. Not going to take any of these. Foot Locker, also a strong one. We'll see.
Jay, do you like Crocs? Do you like Crocs here, 112? Maybe a curl back up towards that 136 level that it was at. Well, when was that? January, it looks like. Yeah, 136. That was in January. Crocs, pretty nice looking long-term chart there, honestly. CMTX, this is one of those small junky stocks from movers, really kind of breaking down today. We didn't get a whole lot of movement there. It looks like everyone's trading HKD like Zunaid.
That's me. Next area of bounce to me, if we go ahead and crack the 20s to the downside, is $16. And why do I say that? I'll go ahead and show y'all here. The reason being, let's go ahead and draw our lines. There it is. Let's zoom in this puppy. Now, of course, this is going to be in yesterday's pre-market that I'm looking at this, but you've got $16 resistance here at 7:05 on the 5th of Jan. Then you went ahead and cracked it, and it held as support an hour or so later and also at the open, and then you continue to move to the upside. So it's not the best level, similar to 20, but if you're looking to convince yourself to donate some money, 15, 16 areas where I'd go ahead and play. But to be honest, I would just leave it be. It's not as clean. I think you have a better chance of having 20 crack, possibly a retest of 20, and then we come on down to the downside.
Jay, thank you for answering the question directly. That is awesome stuff. Ryan, I wouldn't chase it here. I own it where Raz bought it in the low 50s. Take a look at this weekly chart here on Crocs. First of all, your buy in the low 50s, awesome. Confirmed bounce off that 200-day. Now we are curling back up here. We're, I'm not sure if these all-time highs here at 185 are necessarily in play, but this chart sure looks juicy here. With you, though, on not chasing, maybe a pullback towards that 100 level would give you better entry.
Oh, Spy, what are you gonna do? 384 is the level to break.
That reminds me of the scene in Seinfeld where George and Kramer are singing about the duty-free shop. They just kind of came up with a little thing. It sounded very much like what you were doing. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I, too, believe I can be famous. And, Seinfeld, a lot of people like Seinfeld.
Yeah, it's the best sitcom of all time. I mean, that's not even debatable.
All right, well, then I won't go into it. But
yeah, good idea.
I guess my sense of humor just is just not as great as it needs to be. But at least we agreed on that.
No, I'm just kidding. It's a taste thing, right? Seinfeld is arguably my favorite comedian, my favorite show. So it's not the same for everybody. I get it.
That new school stuff, just like bangers after bangers,
The what? I'm sorry?
You are wrong, Ryan. No, incorrect.
No, like new school comedy is very different than like old sitcoms.
Yes.
It's very different.
Yes. No doubt. Apple.
That's why it probably seems so weird to you when you watch it. You're like, what? Like, this is completely different.
Yeah. And maybe it was also because like I had started to watch it when I was, still a young immigrant. Like I didn't quite get the sense of humor and
you weren't going to get the jokes too much.
I was like,
these Americans.
Like, bro, I've lived here for 20 plus years and I still don't get some of the references. Like I am so bad at being cultured.
Yeah. I think it's also more of a North, like kind of like city life kind of life.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I lived in Atlanta. So
like completely different environment.
Oh, the subway. Sorry.
No, it's all right. SPRB possible long side scalp here. Move through 270, 272. really kind of found some support there at the 200 on the 1 minute chart. So maybe if we can pop above this range, we can actually get some juice. No trade at all unless we see a volume pop through that level.
Nice hold of 250 on that one as well. Nice.
I'd actually really like to learn how to play that on bass, to be honest.
Oh, that'd be pretty dope. That'd be pretty dope.
Someone said, what are we going to do with Tesla? My game plan on Tesla, just to repeat it again, is a crack of 105, so I can go ahead and play it short. Or if we can go ahead and get a push above 107.22 and hold. Right now, yeah, you had it peaked above, it poked above, and it came right back down. So for me, two areas I'm okay going short. 110 and a crack of 105. Those are the two areas I'm okay going short. Two areas I'm okay going long. Crack of 107.22s and hold on the 5 minute candle at the very least, or $100 bounce. So 2 and 2. Do what you got to do.
And to me, the trade there is drawn by that line at 105.04 that Zunaid plopped on his chart. That is your long entry. And then looking for 110, stop there at break even. I would say if this continues to move up, maybe you can move your stop up just to make sure that you get some gains on that trade. But I'd be looking for a move to 110 here on Tesla on that 105 break to the upside.
So I'm going to go ahead and piggyback off of you, piggyback off of me. If we go ahead and get 105, right, as a long entry, my first profit targets would be 107.22. Once that first profit target reaches, I would move my stop loss to 105. Then the second profit target would be exactly what Ryan said, at that 110 to go ahead and close the gap. And then if once the 110 is achieved, if you still have remaining shares or contracts, move your break even to 107.22. So you're kind of just stair stepping every single step of the way.
SPY is at that. Paul C saying SPY double top. I guess if you looking at a 5 minute chart and you include the pre-market, you could probably argue that it's a triple top. No,
triple rainbows.
Not where I was going, but okay. So here, let me put my screen up here. Looking at the 1 minute chart here. First of all, it's not really a coincidence that we're butting up against this level. This 383.98 level is a level that's been present or in play for months now. In fact, I've shown you charts that we've used when charting SPY in the happy hour, showing the significance of this level. I guess you could call it 184 if you like, but this is where we're running up to. So, I mean, a break above this, maybe we do move up here, but you're right. Triple top here at this 384 level.
What do we do? What do we do?
Yep. Thadder hit it right on the head here. Yeah, I literally can't say it better than this. Totally agree with you, Thad.
You don't know the triple rainbow, bro?
Yeah, so that's like a YouTube video, right? Where there's some guy.
Yeah,
that sees
there you go. At least Ryan knows where it's from.
Rainbow. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But trust me, Johan, yeah, he was probably smoking.
Dang, they make $50 million a year?
Still.
That's insane.
So I actually saw him live one time in Indy. It was pretty awesome. He's absolutely hilarious.
The reason that blows my mind, though, is simply because of the fact that depending on when that contract was signed with inflation and what the dollar was worth back then, like, that's just still crazy. That's wow. Good for them.
Make that money.
That's insane. And now you are getting a rejection of 384s one more time. And I'm kind of tempted to go short. But knowing me, it's not a good idea.
I'm just looking at the hourly, and the hourly points to triple top even cleaner. Look at this.
Woo! Yeah.
Yeah, that's three.
Well, so here's the question, though, right?
Rainbows.
You've got the hourly up. If you could do me a favor and put up the 5 or the 15, your choice.
Yeah, right there.
A triple top is quote unquote confirmed when what happens? Because the way that I see it, and please tell me if I'm wrong here, is the crack of 382. Not necessarily just the topping, not just the touch of 384, but it's kind of like how, on the head and shoulders, you need it to crack above the neck area and things like that. So where here would you say, hey, we have now confirmed a triple top?
Okay. So remember that double tops, triple tops, whatever it is, it just means price action, not necessarily reversal. That's where I think we could come to an understanding there. So Zunaid, like, I understand what you're meaning. Like, hey, does this mean that it has to come down to, 382 if we essentially triple top here, right?
Right.
And so what it necessarily goes on is that when you start talking about, double bottoms, it's a pattern style play. From that point, now you're looking at it as a reversal pattern, right? And so some people like to either trade off them or just look for them to come in to price action. And so it's more heavy resistance. That's what we can all come to an understanding of, that it's just a heavy resistance point. Whether you're looking at it on a 5, a 1, a 15, or an hourly, if everyone's looking at the same point, what does that also do? That creates multi-time frame, right? And multi-time frame means that there's a lot of traders looking at one point. Whether it goes to the upside now or to the downside of this chart, that's going to make a huge difference. And you should see a pickup of volume because there's more time frame trades coming into one particular price point.
Gotcha. In terms of profit targets, right? The way that I measure mine, if you could throw my chart up, because I'm in the middle of using my tool, so I can't. So to me, this is a 1% move between the 380s and the 384s is a 1% move, right? Would you then go ahead and obviously, Ryan, I'll let your insight on this as well if you want to chime in. Would you say that if we go ahead and crack the 380s, that your profit target should be about a 1% move, which takes us about 376.24. So kind of like how, people say, hey, you measure the wedge, bull flag breakout, this, that, the other, you measure this, you measure that. That's how I personally have always measured potential move to the downside if the triple top actually does fail the bottom support area. Would you say that's a good way to kind of measure that, or is there a better way that you like?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. What you're doing there is essentially what I would say you're doing there is you're using more like a statistical outlook, like a standard deviation away from this, right? It's almost like a linear regression outlook, but to the downside. So you're doing measurements and you're trying to use that to determine your target. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, will that always coincide exactly with where the stock's going to go? Probably not, right? But it gives you at least volatility measurement that if you do crack from there, where should the normal volatility bring the stock? Another way to do this, Zunaid, would be to use maybe a Bollinger Band on your chart. And then that lower band would be that area that you're measuring out, but it would do it for you in a volatility manner. Just to kind of think about it like that. So there's nothing wrong with you thinking that way. At least you're using the stock to tell you more along the volatility that it's right now having, versus like how a lot of people will sometimes use an indicator that's very lagging. You're using kind of more of a leading indicator because you're using real price action from right now.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. Appreciate it.
So I don't think there's anything wrong with that, especially the way that you trade in that in the time frame that you're trading.
Gotcha. Appreciate the insight on that. We're going to take Ryan off here in case he does something to get him canceled.
I think I heard Jason. When Jason calls, you got to run.
Right. Ryan, you can bring yourself back up whenever you're ready, pal. There you go.
Was it Jason?
No, it was Michael Murray and AT.
I thought it was a Jason call. I was like, when Jason calls.
Well, we have our quarterly meeting in about 35 minutes.
But see, Zunaid, bingo, that's exactly it. I'm actually in one of the production rooms. We've got some of the producers and people that are involved in this wanting to do something. I can't just ignore them. You guys were here to hold it down.
Of course. No, it was just funny because you went and I was like, I don't know what just happened, but I'm removing him off screen.
So Tesla's coming back down, team. It looks like we're getting that topping action. The 105s could come quick. It went to 105.50 there. Just want to keep that in mind for you, Zunaid. I know you've been talking about those levels for about like an hour now. I don't want you to miss it.
Yeah, I mean,
but we'll see what happens if you don't. It's not that you need to take the trade, but just want to make sure that everybody's catching. We actually are getting a little bit more topping. And even on Apple, it went slightly above that 127, but also topped right around that 127. We'll see if we actually get the drive, or is this going to be chopped today?
You had HKD that went ahead. Oh, yeah, my charts are up. You had HKD that went ahead and reclaimed 20, and now it's going to the upside. Where is the next level of resistance? 26.29, in my opinion. Why? Because you look left, support this morning, support, crack. And now I would expect that support to act as a resistance. But all eyes are on Tesla. Bomi. And yeah, there's that rejection on SPY again that we've been talking about for 384. Where's Tesla? There's Tesla. Oh, boy.
All right, we'll see what else is going on. Bandwidth equals volatility. Yes, Bollinger Bands are definitely a good way of measuring volatility. I haven't really ever used them too much to trade. And I think that, it's fun to like sometimes just put them on a chart to look at it. And a lot of times what it's fun is that you can see when at least statistical data, it points to trading with Bollinger Bands. They like them for breakouts more than trading within the range. But I've seen a lot of traders talk about how they've been trading more within the range, like on like the daily SPY, right? Like let's say like, buying down here, selling up here, buying it, selling it, buying it, selling it. And you can even go short at the top, like, just keep bouncing within the range. It's pretty difficult. A lot of times the algorithms are the only type of traders that are taking that type of trade because it's a really difficult trade. But if you're able to do it, hey, a Bollinger Band can definitely help you do it. But what they say Bollinger Bands are better for is really statistical, is for the breakout. Because if you can get above the upper band and show a big breakout, it shows that this is a big move, because now you're getting through 95% of what should be the confidence bands for the Bollinger Band to take that next step up. So it just shows like a big momentum out of nowhere. If you use, mean reversions right now, though, most of the time you'll get wrecked. Yeah, it's difficult. Not by all means. BZB Trading says, I use them for targets. I like that. You can definitely use them for targets. At least you can know, like, hey, if I'm hitting the upper band, I shouldn't get too much further away from this upper band.
Teva calls getting bought here. Just interesting, just noting it.
SPY just playing games with that 384. We rejected it. I'm glad at least the team was all aware about that double or triple or whatever you wanted to call it, right? If it was a quadruple top, it could have been there for you. But at least everyone was well aware of it in the chat. So shout out to you, team. Always on top of things.
I tell you, we got the best community here.
That's why it's not just us, right? Like we are three traders. Yeah. We're on video, we're on audio, but it's you guys too, right? And I think that's why we try to do our best to make sure that we're kind of monitoring the chat. And it's not to take away your speech, right? But more along that everybody's here to help each other, call out tickers, call out trades that they're looking at. And like always, everyone choose their own investment decisions. We're not here to push you into one way or the other. But if we can all help each other move forward, I think that's what we're all about.
Teva calls, multiple repeat Teva calls here, the 10s.
Yeah, show us that.
Bought. And looking at, it's right here. And actually, let me, I can actually filter this to make it a little bit easier to see. Filter by Teva. I noticed them rolling by here. So here you go. We had the 11s first. We had multiple blocks of 2,000 plus calls getting bought. Looked at about 140K per buy here. And then we also had the 10 calls bought. So looks like traders are saying Teva to the upside here. If we take a look at the 1 minute chart here, this thing has been an absolute rocket out of the gate. 10 to 1059. Like I said, the 11 calls bought in size, the 10 calls also getting bought here. And again, if we take a look at the daily chart, it's really this range in here that looks to get taken out. In fact, a move above 12 would be pretty juicy here for Teva.
Yeah, Garrett bringing up Meta in the chat here. And I can't blame you for that outlook. I've been looking at Meta also. But I would kind of agree with what you're saying. I mean, I think it's a short from here, but that's just my personal bias. But more along, what are we seeing in the price action, right? That's what you're calling out, Garrett, and you've been seeing it, that it's not showing like quick downside actions when the market goes down. Even though we did get that little kind of pullback on the 15-minute, you can see that. What are we going to look for is can we actually close above the gap zone? The gap zone is really this down low here, 128.53s. And you can see how we're just fighting. We can't really close above 128.53s. That's what I think you need to be looking for if you are bullish Meta. And I do think that some like institutions probably grabbed it here, starting to think that it was, I heard it mentioned on CNBC for like months and months that it was a good buy. So eventually I think they got in there, and you can see a lot of the volume increase there at the bottom. That shows me more and more how some people probably took their shot. What we want to see also is an increase of volume as you're getting through that level to show you that they bought there and are willing to add through that level and start using some higher levels as their risk spot. If not, they might just hold on to that position from there and look for it to get through the next high, which is going to be 138.29. Once it gets through there, if it really does, like let's say we see it at 140 or 150 in like a month or two, yeah, Meta's back. But I think it needs to fight through this zone right now, because if not, it could just be right back in the 120s and 100s. And then you have this long sideways period. I don't know how you guys feel about Meta, but it's a tough area to be in.
Let's see. Well, I'm sorry. I was locked in on my SPY here. Put my charts up. So, yeah, I'm waiting for this crack of 384s to the upside. And you were talking about Meta, which is on my list right here. If you wanted to play this to the upside, you kind of got a nice little formation right above 128.50s. You can try to take this one long to revisit 129s and maybe even 130s. But in terms of support, 126 is where I would kind of lean on that in terms of support. But all eyes for me are on SPY 5-minute chart crack of 384. If we get it. But like just looking at the daily though, look at this, man. The SPY just kind of consolidating. We got a little bit of a crack and we thought this was it. And then nope, came right back up. And now we're right back in that same consolidation.
It's tough. It's tough, man.
But to me though, the longer this goes on, you know what the saying is, the longer this consolidates, the bigger the pop. So excited any way, which way this thing goes. For me, though, I'm looking to play it to the upside. If we go ahead and have a 5-minute close above 384 at a reasonable price and on the retest would be your best A1 entry. Nothing guaranteed. May not make you money, but in terms of risk, reward, and probability, I believe it's in your favor. Ryan got kicked from the production room.
Yeah, they gave him the boot. They gave him the boot.
They gave him the
boot. Boot.
Terrible.
Get out of here!
Can't believe they did my Ryan. Can't believe they did my man Ryan like that. It's messed
right?
up.
They didn't even let him leave, man. They didn't even let him say bye.
Up. AT probably just turned the switch off, you know.
Yeah, he said, "Boom, shakalaka, you out." All right, let's see what's going on, team. Will we get that next lift here? Tesla's still trying to battle back through that 107. SPY, will it do is this the 5th top, 6th top, 7th top?
I mean, man, here? Can you imagine if you and I and obviously so many other people talk about how, hey, the more you knock on that door on that level, orders are getting chewed up. So the sells are just getting exhausted, and eventually buyers can go ahead and take over. The likelihood of that happening is definitely high as you continuously have higher highs. But let's see, though. We've got about 4 minutes till this candle close on the 5-minute of the break of 384 on the SPY.
All right, we'll see if we get that next step. It's just hitting it right now, 384.29. Can it really close up there, though? That's what we've been seeing. We've seen wicks right here. And we'll also look to see if we get some nice volume increasing here. You can see it is starting to get some volume right now as it's starting to get through the 384 levels. See that next step up. How big does he go? Tesla trying to get through that 107, 127. Apple's trying to get through. If you guys are looking at Apple right now, Apple and Tesla to the left-hand side here, you guys can see that. It's battling right around that 107. Apple trying to get through that 127, also kind of quadruple top there. Now it's starting to push there, 127.28. Let's see if we really get that next level SPY up there towards 384.40s. We got the 1 minute to close above the 384s. Now we'll look for a 5 minute candle to close up there, but it's looking good. You got there towards 384.60s, almost to the 385 spot. Talked about how 385 is a very important level. You'll get through yesterday's kind of action, and then of course Wednesday's high, which I think is important, 385.88. We're getting up there, starting to make our way.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and lock in a buy order at 384.07 as we have now crossed the SPY. We are now trading at 384.56s. I am not going to chase this puppy. I am going to be disciplined and buy on the retest of the breakout level of 384. And hopefully it'll all work out. But I've got 150 shares ready to buy on the SPY.
All right, we'll see if we get to that next level. Now 384.50s. Five minute, we want to see that close above 384. That's going to be a good look. Got about what? A little less than 2 minutes on this candle. This next minute candle is going to be very important. For those 5 minute candles, they'll be closing. And then on that 1 minute, you can look for some strength on this 1 minute candle that's about to open up. Opening up now. We'll see if we get that next step through on the SPY. SPY trying to break through that level. Let's see what happens here. Do we get the next candle to open higher or lower? And it comes back through the 84s, or we get it to close higher? About 40 seconds left there. It's battling. It's not doing too bad. You could also see it on that 1 minute. So that would be this 1 minute, right? 1039 candle. We want this to kind of get through that high. And that's actually going to be a good look on the 5 minute. Should close into the top of the range. There you go. Nice little push here right before it. About 15 seconds left on the 5 minute.
And I've been realizing on the one that I've been talking on mute this whole time because I was eating and I didn't want to have y'all hear me munch. But on the SPY though, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because my game plan here.
Got you.
I'll let you do it. On the SPY here, since the 5 minute close has happened above 384, I'm looking to buy 150 shares at 384.07. I will not chase this puppy 70 cents above. I'm going to wait for the retest and then let me go ahead and move to the upside. But for now, patience, 384.07. If we get that filled, great. If it wants to go ahead and head upside to 386s, so be it. But we're not going to chase this one. We're going to be patient.
All right. We're going to keep going about probably another 10, 15 minutes here as we start wrapping up. We'll be wrapping up in just a few minutes here, team.
See what we got here. Where's Netflix at? Let's check out Netflix here. Netflix, if it can get over 310, that could be a beautiful move to the upside. Because that's where your resistance is intraday. Come on, SPY. Give me a retest. Pick up everybody else that didn't catch the train. Don't be mean. Not much left in SQ. Let's take a look at it.
It pushed. It pushed on that 1 minute candle. We'll look to see if there's a change towards the end of the day, but right now you're pushing. SPY up there towards 384.95 when just this morning we were down there to 378.43. Just goes to show you how quickly things can change and that we're still in a choppy market, even though you could have got maybe the numbers this morning. Would you have known you were going to 385? How many probably would have been thinking that? So we're staying in the chop. The big thing now is going to be to watch the 386.25 area up there towards 387. That's really the breakout around the range, like getting out of the range. We'll see if that actually happens or not. Definitely having a good day there. Apple made another little step up, so you guys can keep watching that. I'm going to go through the sectors really quick before we wrap up here. Energy having a great day here, getting a nice little step up. We talked about that before the market opened. How's XOM now? Towards 111.74. So good day there for those oil names. Definitely getting a nice step up. Communication services behind that. Why is that getting the next leap up? Well, a lot of that is that ex-dividend for AT&T. Verizon is going to be due in, I think, 3 days now. T-Mobile gave some good outlook. That's why that stock is pushing well there. So definitely catch that. Defensive names. We talked about the discount stores that were doing really well. Costco, Walmart, really big push. Target, nice little lift there. DG. So definitely keep your eyes on those names. Utilities getting a little lift today. Even my Duke in trouble here as we're getting on up there towards the 105.50. I'll probably be cutting it today if we definitely close above that 105.50. We'll end up seeing what happens there. I can give it a little bit of room right now, but don't want to see it close above that. We'll end up finding out if that turns around or not. XLU bouncing back big today. We'll see if that comes back towards 72s. Industrials getting back on the day. DE, Deere bouncing back a little bit. CAT bouncing back a little bit. Look at CAT. Nice little breakout there in CAT. If you're looking, actually, that's a nice little push there in CAT. It's a surprising move there. Basic materials having a good day. Coal, copper, steel. We talked about X earlier today, and it made a move to 2660s to a high of 2672s. Not a bad move there if you guys were able to catch that. Agricultural inputs, MOS. We talked about how that one was having a good day. CF was one that we gave that if you're looking at MOS could also have a good day, and that's actually getting a nice little push now. IPI is another one that I gave that could get that next lift also getting that nice little push. So if you're keeping your eyes on those stocks. Real estate, I won't talk too much about that. Financial services actually getting a bounce today. Cyclical having a decent day there. Department stores have stayed strong as of late. Look at Macy's in the last 3 days. Nice little lift off there. Healthcare, a little bit of a mixed bag there. Don't forget Biogen news today. That's going to really shake things up. This stock has come down today. Could, at the end of the day, really rock it. So just be careful. Or it could also come crashing if for any reason they get rejection. So keep your eyes on FDA news. Definitely going to come out on Biogen today. Don't miss that team. Last stocks we'll talk about is technology. Technology getting a big bounce back today. You can see it in our leadership. Microsoft, Apple, NVIDIA, and others. Any last comments, Zunaid, to wrap up?
I got a hurt in my mouth.
Don't worry. I got you, my friend. All right. Well, I'll just keep rolling through here. Let me get back towards the SPY. SPY now towards 384.39. We'll look to see if it pulls back to 384 and bounces there. I think that's what Zunaid's looking at, but he'll join us when he can.
I'm good now.
Able to bounce back today. That's one that I was thinking about swing trading to the upside. And I'm a little bit kicking myself a little bit now. I'm a little bit late to this trade now. We'll see, because this looks decent right now. And this is one that I'm going to keep on watch. The monthly is very similar to the weekly. Look how it's holding up on this trend line. I'm looking for that next step up. It needs to get through 219s, through 220s. It's not a bad one to keep on watch if you guys are swing traders out there. Want to always bring some swing trade ideas up here, because we do a lot of day trading talk, but I'm going to definitely touch those. Tesla able to bounce back a little bit on the day, up there towards 107.50s. Can it get to that 108.86, that daily support right around here on that spot there. It's 76 there, so you can bring it back down a little bit. We'll see if we actually get up there, right? The 109 area, that's really what you want to see it recover. But 107.56, if for any reason this trend line breaks, I'd be a little bit concerned because it's just been slowly stair-stepping its way up there. If it gets back to the VWAP, it could let go. All right, that's going to probably do it for me. Any last comments, my friend?
Yeah, still waiting on SPY to go ahead and fill me at 384.07s. Wasn't going to chase it, wasn't going to pursue it. So I'm controlling my managing my risk here properly. If I don't get the trade, it's all good. And Raj, you had a good comment earlier about, hey, do you really want to wait for a retest on a quad top of a breakout of it, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the upside we went? To me, still yes, just because practicing those 3 fundamentals that I have for trading, at least trying to practice them. Because look, if you tried to chase around here, you didn't quite get the best risk reward, right? So if you went ahead and had a trade, let's say, where is it? If you went long right here and your stop loss was below this 5-minute candle, your 1-to-1 ratio is right around here, right? So versus where if you can go ahead and get it at, let's call this 384, and your stop loss is here, that 1-to-1 ends up becoming more like a 2-to-1 and then some. So to me, yes, I would still like to go ahead and practice buying it on the back test. And obviously it didn't completely test 384s, then that's okay. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Nonetheless, I'm going to live to fight another day. And if I'm going to take an L, I'm going to shrink how much actually I lose in terms of money. But appreciate you guys, and we will see you again on Monday.
WWE getting the smack up today instead of the smackdown.
Looks like it.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, definitely getting the lift. Did it halt at some point? It looked like it. It just might have gone sideways here. No volume. It looks like
it traded. I've got some spots here.
It's weird.
I've got volume on it.
I don't got on that 10:05 candles. I don't have no volume, but oh well. Looks like I had some data issues there. But WWE, nice little push through that pre-market high of 84.90s up there past 85. Of course, there was rumors that this could be sold. Look at that daily chart. Oh Lord, good oh Lord. Where do you sell? I know I'd be selling already, but next level is let's look long term. Let's go to the monthly. Take a look. This should act as resistance here, close to it. You can see at the top of this body, we're going towards 87 right now. From that point, you can actually really kind of next push, I would say 93. So we'll see if it gets up there. WWE having a hell of a day there for those investors. All right, that's going to do it for us, team. We'll just keep battling. We'll see you next week. Like always, keep up with live trading right here on Benzinga. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe down below, and don't miss us. Like always, you guys can find us on Twitter, MoneyMitchBZ, Phoenix Trading X. Give my man a follow. I'll see you guys next week. Like always, keep battling out there. We'll be right there with you guys. Let's go.